Hank Williams took what was already out there and fashioned it into personal art. Sung in a universal voice or vice versa, singing the folk music that expressed, as he put it, the dreams and prayers and hopes of working people. In 1949, he recorded Lovesick Blues, and his vocals prompted capacity crowds at the Hayride to nearly tear the house down for encores of Lovesick Blues. The Grand Ole Opry could no longer ignore Williams. He premiered there on June 11th, 1949, with the audience demanding a reported 9 encores of Lovesick Blues. Ex-bandmate Clint Holmes recalls how Williams aroused such emotions that fans fainted at his feet whenever he sang and gyrated suggestively, or when he would wobble his knees during the yodel. Some even tore at his hair and clothes. How art arouses emotion remains a mystery to critics, musicians, and ethnomusicologists alike, but that this transmogrification occurred inside Williams' lanky, pained body is not in doubt. Country star Merrill Kilgore remembers that when Williams hit that yodel, they came out of those chairs, they threw babies in the air. Sometimes, Holmes pointed out, he'd get up and sing that lovesick blues, and them girls would come from the back of that auditorium, run up there at that stage, and fall down on the floor and pass out and scream. Or maybe scream and then pass out, I guess. Jimmy Rogers is one of the most recognizable yodelers in the world. His influence can be heard in rock, rockabilly, country, blues, but also back to the source, back to Africa. A strange puberty rites performed by teenage girls of the Kipsigis tribe of Kenya developed around Jimmy Rogers. In the 1950s, the Kipsigis were introduced to the wonders of the record player, and for one reason or another came to possess a Jimmy Rogers recording. Upon hearing his voice and seeing his picture on the record sleeve, they went crazy for Rogers, eventually transforming him into the pan-like demigod Jimmy Rogers, or in their native tongue, Jimmy Rocha. The Kipsigi characterized Rogers as a formidable player. Kipsigi girls believed that Rogers was a kind of centaur, half man, half antelope. In the song Jimmy Rocha, a naughty, humorous song honoring Rogers, the girls urge him to perform a vigorous, leaping dance during which he suggestively jumps out of his clothes. And now it's...
I'm going to California where they sleep out every night. I'm going to California where they sleep out every night. I'm leaving you, mama, 'cause you know you don't treat me right. Yodelay, yodelay, oh, listen to me, mama, while I sing you this song. Oh, listen to me, mama, while I sing you this song. You got me worried now, but it won't be worried long. Sing with me. Yodelay, yodelay, yodelay. Let's try one more time. Yodelay, yodelay, yodelay. Let me tell you something, mama, you don't know. Oh, let me tell you something, mama, you don't know. I'm a do-right papa, got a home everywhere I go. Yodelay, yodelay, abbreviated.
My dad was a man named Yodeling Slim Clark.
Oh.
Actually, his name was Raymond. Everyone called him Yodelin. And he performed for over 7 decades. He started when he was very young. And he performed in his last year of life at 82. And in March of that year. And he passed away in July. So he had a very full life of singing and yodeling. And he was a treasure. The way I learned about this gentleman over here is sometimes late at night when I was a little curious, I'll put my dad in the computer. This thing came up as Al Jazeera. Is that how you say it? Will there be yodeling in heaven? And I went, well, that's interesting. So I followed that, and it was about Mr. Plantenga's book, Yodel in Hifi, The Secret History of Yodeling Around the World. And I found out that there was something about my dad in that book. And then a friend said, oh, I just went to a book sale and I saw this book, and it was that book. And I said, oh, I want to have that book. And she sent it to me. And I found the page about my dad, and I got very tearful because the way he described him, he said he was the spiritual godchild of Jimmy Rogers and Wilf Carter, and I said nothing could have pleased my father more because he adored Jimmy Rogers and Wilf Carter. And so I read the entire book, and I laughed and laughed and laughed. And in the mid-90s, I started trying to yodel seriously because I yodeled a little bit all my life because that's what I heard. And I thought, it's going to be a dying art. What my father did was beautiful. It will be a dying art. And I read his book, and I said, there's no way it's going to be a dying art. And then now I have the second book, and I've only just begun that book, and that's already made me laugh out loud about I have to read the little line. People smile when I yodel, whether they're laughing or smiling because they like it. It makes them happy, and it makes you happy to do it. Because it pumps out endorphins in your brain like laughing. It does. But here's a line that got me laughing out loud when I started reading this book. The sneaking suspicion remains that others see the yodel as just this piece of twisted fluff, an audio can opener into insanity. So perhaps it is, but it's a nice place to go. My mother wrote it, but my dad recorded it. It's called Yodel Your Troubles Away. No, it's not called that, but anyway. I'm happy and free, not thinking bothers me. Never feel sad or feel blue. No worries or strife, just the bright side of life. Take pleasure in all that I do. When troubles come nigh, I just let them pass by. Look forward to happier days. When blues come along, I just sing soul songs and yodel my troubles away. La 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 la, gee la la la, gee la la la, la la la, la 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 la, gee la la la, gee la la la, hi. La 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 la, gee la la la, gee la la la, la la la, oh do dee, dee dee dee. Don't ever believe it, I'll tell you it's true. It'll take you with your dreams. Remember to smile, and then in a while, how lovely everything seems. Just follow me and be happy and free. Just whistle and smile through the day. If something goes wrong, you can't sing the soul song, and yodel your troubles away. La 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, la la la, la la la, la la la, hi. La 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 la, la 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 la, la la la, oh do dee, oh the lady.
classic, a true classic of the yodeling repertoire is a song that Yodelin Slim Clark wrote called "Yodeling Mad." Yes. And I had listened to it, and it became, a favorite of mine, and I would have it going through my head, just like you have a song and you can't get rid of it. It's just like continuously going through your head. But it went through my head so many times that other words came into my head, and I had no control over it. So I reworked this classic, and I'm going to sing it for you, but only under the understanding, hopefully, that you'll listen to the original, because the original is true. This is my take on it through the folk process. I get jazz, simply jazz, when I try to yodel. I like to yodel late at night. I get jazz, simply jazz, when I try to yodel. And when I do, I try to get it right. So I raise my voice real high, kiss my dignity goodbye. I don't know how I reach the notes I do. Yodelay, 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 yodelay. Yodelay, 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 hey, yodelay, 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 yodelay. It makes me laugh when I try to yodel. How does he make those crazy sounds? But every time I try to yodel, tons of pretty girls, they gather round. So I raise my voice real high, kiss my dignity goodbye. I don't know how to reach the notes I do. Yodelay, 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 yodelay.
In the 70s, I was watching Saturday Night Live one evening, and another Kaufman came out. Andy Kaufman came out.
He's got a couple of yodels. Yeah.
Oh,
No, he did Yodeling Mad. He did Yodeling.
He came out in a loincloth with two very tall African conga players and scanty clothes. And they would go boom, 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 boom. And he would go, I go mad, simply mad when I hear yodel. And then they go boom, 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 boom. And I fell off the couch laughing. But I saw my dad later that week and I said, Daddy, I heard them sing that song that you sang. He said, I wrote that song. And I think he would love what you did with it. I had to slow it down to try to even get the yodel because it's so strange. But this is how it. I go mad, simply mad when I hear a yodel, as it echoes through the canyons clear and true. I go mad, simply mad when I hear a yodel, 'cause it really makes me want to yodel too. I yodel loud and high, let all my cares go by. I just let my heart light and free. Oh, la lo, dee 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 dee. That's the way I'll always be. Hello, 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 dee. Hello, 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 dee. Hello, hello, hello.